The dedication of the volunteers just blew my mind. And to see people, I was told by these people on the phone that people come in the morning and they're a little detached and they leave and they're engaged and happy, and that their caregivers report that they feel better for a couple of days after that. And I watched it with my own eyes in every program I went to.
Welcome back to Tiny Pulpit Talks. We took a little summer vacation, which was really fun, but we are so glad that you're back with us here. And one of the things we want to do in the coming weeks is to start talking to some of the folks that you know, or maybe you don't know, here at the church. And we wanted to make sure that you got to know our Director of Pastoral Care, Jean-Ann Powers. Hi, Jean-Ann.
Hi, everybody.
Welcome to Tiny Pulpit Talks.
Thank you. I'm so excited to be here.
We are so excited to have you. What do you do here at the church? Tell the folks.
Well, I'm the Director of Pastoral Care. I've been working as your Pastoral Care Director since 2012. And essentially what we say is we try to make a big church feel like a small town church by giving you personalized care as you go from birth to death and everything in between.
That's beautiful. And it's true. I've been here for about 2 years. And when I came in, I remember meeting with you to hear about the things that you and your department do, your ministry really does. And I was like, we're gonna need another 1 hour meeting. We're gonna need another 1 hour meeting because the amount you do here. And one of the things that comes to mind most when I think of the way you engage people at this church is the volunteers that you have. Just some of the most beautiful, warm-hearted, capable, generous, just goes on and on. I mean, can you say some about what that's been like to work with people like that here?
Yeah. You know, actually, it's been one of the greatest privileges of my life.
Yeah.
Because, you know, we have over 125 pastoral care volunteers, and most of them, if not all of them, are volunteer in some other area of the church as well.
Right.
And they give of themselves so freely and with their whole hearts, and step up when needed. And you know, it is part of what keeps me going and inspired, because it's such an honor to be able to watch them in action. I call them the foot soldiers of the church. Mm-hmm. You know, because we have great ministers and we have a great staff. And we have a big church. Yeah. And there's no way we could possibly give all the care that's needed in the church. And there's also a very different, there's a different quality of the care one to another congregant than there is minister to congregant or staff member to congregant. And it's just so warm and engaged and an honor to watch happen.
Yeah. And that's one of those things, though, that how does someone learn to give that kind of care? Like, how do you pass that kind of information on? Like, you can't just go to a training, right? Like, how would you tell someone if they're like, I want to be that. I want to be someone who contributes to that kind of one-on-one kind of care. Like, how does people get involved? Like, what's the first thing someone should do if they want to start helping in pastoral care?
Well, I always, recommend, particularly if we talk to new members, and Sharon, as membership director, will ask them where they want to be involved.
Okay.
And then I say have them reach out to me or give me their name, and then Nancy, the Lovenander, the pastoral care coordinator, or myself will reach out to them and find out what they're interested in engaging in. Because it's one thing to volunteer, but it's another thing to volunteer in a place where your heart's going to resonate. Yeah. And so I don't like to just check off boxes. I mean, of course, I want to fill our volunteer needs, but I want to fill them with people who want to do those specific jobs. Because I think the thing that keeps you inspired in volunteer work is getting something from it, as well as the giving. And so I really try to match people carefully with the volunteer tasks that they're going to do.
Yeah. And then the other thing I like to tell people is, like, the moment you feel like maybe this isn't a fit,
Exactly.
let us know.
Exactly.
Like, one of the things I have found, as working together and working with folks here, is that I would never want someone to feel like they're stuck in something.
Right.
And that the moment someone's like, I need some time, people should know how many emails or calls or whatever we get when people have stuff come up in their lives, right?
Yeah.
And what happens?
Oh, yeah.
First thing we say is,
right. Bravo.
Step back.
I mean, I really do. When someone says, I've got too much on my plate and I need to pull back to take care of me, I'm like, excellent.
Yes.
Because self-care as a volunteer is so important.
So important.
It really is.
So I have to ask this also, because you can sing. I just have to say, some of these worship services, this is out of left field, but how do you think there's a relationship between your artistry and your music and the love of that and your love of people? I don't know. To me,
I do.
Yeah.
I do. There's a place. Well, first of all, when I sing at the church and I look out into the congregation, it's like I see all these faces that I love, and it just fills me up so much. Mm-hmm. But I also just love to sing, and there's a place that it resonates in me that is the same place that connects with other people.
Yeah.
It's just a different use of your voice, really.
Yeah.
That's an interesting question. Thanks for asking that.
I just have noticed that there's something about, I have this feeling, I have this sense that I can just tell a lot from someone about their singing voice, and it doesn't even need to be good. Just when someone sings, I feel like we get a glimpse into their heart a little bit. And it's not so much you have wonderful technique and you sing beautifully, but there's a heart to it that made me kind of think she's connected to what she's doing in this moment. So yeah, that's beautiful.
Thank you.
One of the things that I know is coming up, we have talked about this for a while, that folks are aging and something's going on in society. Who knows what it is? I'm not a doctor, neither are you, but folks who are experiencing memory loss, some stages of dementia, some stages of Alzheimer's. For years, many of them have started to be isolated. And that's something, it breaks our hearts, I know, as people who care for people. And I know we've been thinking a lot lately about what to do for folks in that situation, and particularly for the caretakers who are witnessing and are having to experience this loss at the same time. Yeah. It's heartbreaking.
Yes.
And I know we're working on an initiative. You're really moving on something, and I just want to share that with people about what's coming up with this new program.
No, I'm so excited. I'm excited to talk about it with anyone who will listen.
Let's all talk about it. I'll talk about it. Everyone send this to everyone you know. Go ahead.
So I wish I could say we were at the cutting edge of this, but there are several churches in the greater Metroplex that have day programs for people with mild to moderate dementia. And they are completely volunteer driven. And they're programs where people find connection and community. And so we are starting one here 2 weeks from Wednesday called Unforgettable Friends. And what it is a day program for people with mild to moderate dementia. And we're going to start it for members of the congregation. We're starting it 2 weeks from Wednesday on the September 25th. And it's going to go from 10 to 2. And people will show up, and it's twofold. It's a wonderful program because it serves as a place of connection and fun and creativity, and there'll be lots of different things that help you remember who you are, really.
Yeah.
And no matter what stage you are at any degree of cognitive loss. And it also serves as a respite place for the caregivers who live with their loved ones and need 4 hours in the day to go have lunch with someone, or get some errands done, or just go sit outside and enjoy this cooler weather. And I have visited several programs in the Metroplex that have been running for a long time, and they were so inspiring. The dedication of the volunteers just blew my mind. And to see people, I was told by these people on the phone that people come in the morning and they're a little detached, and they leave and they're engaged and happy, and that their caregivers report that they feel better for a couple of days after that. And I watched it with my own eyes in every program I went to. And the generosity of spirit at these programs, they let some of our volunteers come with me, and we just 28 of us went last week to a training at North Park Presby.
Yep.
And listened to dementia experts and talk about how they run their program. And our people are really excited to get engaged. And you know, like you said, we've been talking about this for a while. And you know, myself as a boomer, and you know, there's lots of boomers that are going to be able to take advantage of this program, and the generation before that, the silent generation, and you know, there are just as many people of those generations volunteering as there are going to participate. And eventually we'll open it to the community, because there's a great need in the greater community. All the programs are open to different communities in their area, and some people travel near and far, you know, to come to the programs. So I am so excited about this program, and it's kind of renewed me in my mission here at the church. I can feel how excited I am, and I think about it all the time.
Yeah.
And we, you know, with our 125 hours of service initiative going on, I would invite people to contact us. We're going to need volunteers for every aspect of it, from helping to plan and serve lunch, to creating the themes for each week, and the decor for the tables, and music, you know, because we're going to be doing sing-alongs, and music is a really good way to engage people in their memories. And the feeling of happiness that was throughout these programs was very contagious, and the volunteers were as happy as the participants.
I always take note from a spiritual perspective or dimension when churches or communities from various, quote, denominations or whatever just come together immediately and find common ground on something. From our perspective, from our theology, or just from our place, like, I think it's so important to take note of those things.
Yes.
And so often it's around questions of care.
Yes.
You know,
Exactly.
we live in a place where questions of care for our trans community, and sadly around mental health care, around these other things, we think they're human rights issues, other people call them political issues. But where we can find this common ground of understanding, especially for respect for our elders, and acknowledging that we are all only temporarily abled.
Right.
We will all need care
Exactly.
in some capacity.
Yes.
So I think acknowledging that in a real lived way like this is where I really feel the spirit moving with this.
Yes,
I've said so many times, when you talk about this, I can just feel this energy coming from this.
Yeah.
It's going to be great.
Yes, I know. I'm so excited.
Yeah. I'm just so proud.
Yeah. So please, we're going to need lots of help with this. And it'll be a very feel-good. There will be no sitting in a room alone stapling papers tasks involved.
No.
No.
And I love this. The amount of time you're talking about is very doable in the middle of the day.
Yes.
You know, I realize not everyone's going to be able to do that, but there's going to be other ways to help.
Yeah.
And
generally I'm asking for, you know, two Wednesdays a month, if you could do that. But if you can, then, you know, there's planning that can be done behind the scenes, you know, picking up decor and themes needed can happen anytime. There's going to be lots of need for this program. So it doesn't have to be a Wednesday specific activity for people who need a more flexible way to volunteer.
Yeah, this is great. Well, thank you everyone for being here. Thank you for coming and making time in your day. We appreciate it.
Absolutely, my privilege.
Yeah. Keep watching, keep tuning in. Be sure you subscribe on YouTube and everything. Like us, but also what would be great is if you go into podcasts and you give us a little review. You know, maybe you like us, maybe you don't. That's fine. We want to hear from you. We'll just delete you if you say you don't like us anyway. So that's fine. No, we would never do that. Yes, we would. But please tune in again. We'll be back with you again soon. But until then, we will see you on Sunday. Thanks from Tiny Pulpit Talks.
Bye.
Bye.